Now we have our Dynamixel AX12A servo motors here. So as you know, we need 4 such motors for our home bot. We need to prepare these servo motors before we can place them on our bot. When it comes in boxes, it has many small parts like these brackets here and screws, bolts, nuts. So all we need for our home bot would be just the servo motors and few nuts and the screws. So what I'm gonna do now is, as you can see, there are platforms here where I can place the brackets, where the bracket sits in. It can either go to there are 4 holes, so I can place it to the innermost, or I can start with the outermost, and also it can be placed on either side. So what we need is, for our home bot, the 4 servo motors is going to be oriented in such a way that 2 are going to be placed on towards the left side of the bot and 2 are going to be right side of the bot. So what we are going to do now is, we're going to place these brackets in such a way that it's oriented like these. Two are going to sit towards the left side and 2 are going to sit on the right side of the bot. So for that, make sure that you have your 2 servo motors brackets placed in such a manner that the rollers goes inside, faces each other. So I'm gonna place this away now, keep this away now. So to prepare the servo motor, first I'm gonna take these nuts and place it to the corners of this bracket. Take 4 nuts and place it on the 4 corners of this bracket. So we have that there. Now, since I've already have my 2 servo motors for the left side of the bot ready and 1 already done for the right side of the bot ready, so I'm gonna need 1 more of such servo motor to be done for the right side of the bot. So all I need to do is put nuts into start with the outermost platform there, place it here and leave this here. We're gonna place the other nut over there and diagonal opposite. The other one goes diagonal opposite there. So we have 4 nuts on our servo motors and 4 nuts on our bracket now. So since when we place these brackets on the servo motors, these nuts might fall off while screwing it from the top. To avoid that, we're gonna use these 3D built parts. So for that, I'm gonna place it here. These just avoid the nuts falling off when we screw it from the top. So I'm just gonna align it there. Use a tape. And make sure that it sits on the nuts. We are gonna wrap the tape around. So this avoids the nuts to fall from falling down. As you can see, I've covered the holes there, so I'm just gonna take the knife and make the holes. So once we have that there, next I'm gonna place this on the servo motor. So make sure it's the outermost where we have put the nuts in on the servo motors. So I have that there. I'm gonna use the screws which comes with the box. So the bracket is in place now. So this servo can be screwed onto our home board now. But before that, for the belts to fit in, the arm belts, we have made a 3D model for that. So as you can see, there is a flat surface here and there is a extrusion here. So this is the outermost part and this goes here to the bottom, and there are 4 holes here which fits on the shafts of the servo motor. So I can align those and use the metric screws which is of 2 by 14 inch measurement. So once that aligned, I'm gonna screw it. So we have our servo motor ready, and this is where the connector goes, which can be connected later on when we assemble the servo motors on the board. So these are the 4 servo motors, and which would be aligned in this fashion on the board. 2 goes on to the left and 2 goes on to the right of the board. See the difference between the left and the right? So servo motors are ready to be assembled on the board.